So basically, we went to Hampi and Chitradurga for 5 days, Hampi for 4 days, and Chitradurga for 1 day. It was pretty good. There was a lot of fun things we did. We visited a lot of places like the Vithala temple. So we also saw the Hampi Bazaar and all the famous things. I like the Anegundi village because of their craft and the way they acted to people. Two of my most favorite places, the Chandravali caves and the Chitradurga fort. So recently we went to Hampi and it was a truly spectacular trip. Also we visited a few places like the Stone Chariot, Musical Pillars and Virupaksha temple. All of those were really beautiful and they were all very pretty and fun to learn about.
So, in the elementary years, we find it very important to continue the journey of independence in children. So, when they're young, they of course learn to be in school on their own. And now, once they've matured, we want them to experience being outside school on their own, which is why we have the field trip program. Now, to extend that independence even further, we want these students to spend nights in the school first as part of the sleepover program and then outside school as part of the going out program. So based on their readiness, children start spending 1 to 2 nights in a carefully curated location with their classmates and their teachers, and it's just a great experience for them to be away from their parents. Once they can do that successfully, they start spending 3 to 5 days in a new location. All of this is done because we don't just talk about independence. We want children to truly be independent, and they will not become independent till we give them opportunities like this.
It felt good to see stuff that that I had only seen in books before. When we saw something like something I'm told always in books, and next we can see it in person. So it's very nice. When we went in the Chandravali caves, and when we went fully down, it was 80 feet deep. But I didn't feel that it was that deep below. And the Chitradurga fort, the way they built it was like very secure, and they would have thought a lot about it because how the things were kept was very advanced.
So before we go on an outstation trip, we think through the different areas that we could have covered in the trip. So children would have spent some time researching on these topics, discussing topics around the areas that or the places that we would visit.
We had researched about it earlier as well, and once actually going to there was very exciting because we'd researched about it and we knew about it, but it was so surreal to see it actually there and in real life.
I really like the Virupaksha temple because I read about it in my book before we went to Hampi. So I had seen the pictures and everything, but they were actually drawings because it was in a comic. And then when I went there, it looked like exactly the same as the drawing.
We have also seen that children want to go deeper into a specific area. One child might be interested in the history of dynasties or the empires that ruled the place, whereas another child might be more interested in the geographical bit of that area. So we let children go deeper into areas that they want to learn more about. We then try to now include this into our plan when the educators are planning behind the scene on how the outstation trip should look like.
I got interested in history and geography, and the things there inspired me because many things in the Chandravali caves, there were many pathways and many places to go to Chitradurga fort, then another place and another place. So the only the owner knew how to get through it.
So this time we had visited the Anegundi village. So children came back talking about the kind of bond the people shared between each other, how close knitted the families around were, how they worked together, and how much of dependency each of them had, and how it all worked as a unit. So I think that's while they learned geographically and in terms of history about what's happening in Hampi, I think there was a lot of grace and courtesy that they brought back understanding how a community could work if we are all dependent on each other and understand each other's needs.
On Wednesday, when we went to Anegundi village, I liked how the people would like talk to each other and how everyone knew each other. And we saw like small school somewhere in the village. I liked like the school, how the kids would learn and all that. Many people were doing their job and they were all happy and like they were all helping us learn.
We saw some of them continued their work in history. They went deeper into learning more about Chitradurga. Some of them wanted to know how Vijayanagara Empire started and declined. They wanted to know more about Krishna Deva Raya, so there were books that children were reading about. Some of them also went into journaling their entire experience. Children were talking about the as simple as the sunset, because we just spent half an hour sitting at this Mahanavami Dibba. So that's the place where Krishna Deva Raya would sit and watch. So when there was victory or when there were larger celebrations during Dasra, people would come together at the Mahanavami Dibba. So children were actually imagining how it would be, being Krishna Deva Raya or being a part of that celebration. So I think it's very nice to see how children actually put themselves back into 2-3 centuries ago and then start reflecting what life would have been then and how life is now, and then reflect back on each of this.
It's really empowering and inspiring to learn about Hampi and the Vijayanagara Empire if we go there and see the ruins as they stand. It's really helpful to learn about Tipu Sultan after we go and see Mysore. Hence, we truly believe that going out to these locations, spending time without the pressure of having to come back immediately, allows us to help children immerse themselves in a different world, and then we bring that back into the classroom. Even more simply, very few people know that one of the oldest landforms in the whole world is right here in Bangalore, in Lal Bagh. It's 3 billion years old. And we think, how can we talk about history and geography and time without seeing that first? So the entire program is designed around offering experiences. We offer those experiences and then we integrate backwards into classroom learning. And so going out supports us there as well.
In our recent Hampi trip, I was really amazed by the Hampi Bazaar. Like when we were walking through that, we could see the view of the Virupaksha temple, and like we could imagine like how it would have been at that time. I would think like it would be like a bustling market with like a bunch of people, traders, merchants from all over the world.
Anegundi, we had a very traditional meal which was made by the locals there. They had served food like the jolada roti and matki, which is known to the north of Karnataka. Initially, we did see a bit of resistance from children not wanting to try, but after they tried once, they just went on for multiple servings.
And for the lunch and in the Anegundi village was like a different type of lunch, and I liked the taste of it.
So we have seen when an outstation trip discussion starts, children are very excited about being a part of the trip. But as we get closer to the date, children are a little more anxious about being there. I think it's a mixed feeling for them about being anxious and excited at that point. But we have seen that the preparation that we have done in terms of sleepovers and shorter stays have helped children stay through the week when we have gone on an outstation trip. Outstation trips are deeply rewarding for the children because they feel good about staying away from home for a week by themselves, being able to manage their routines by themselves. At the same time, sometimes it can get challenging for some of them. The fact that they are in an unfamiliar setting, unknown place, new food, this sometimes then leads to irritability. Some children, we did see that there was fatigue kicking in after a few days. and then that would then lead into an emotional outburst.
Like the before trips I've gone to on my own, it was only for like 1.5 days, and it was not like 5 days, and this experience was very hard for me, but I still went through it. I wanted to go to the trip, but I was a bit scared because it was a long trip and I was never that long without any of my family members. But then when I went there, I was actually not at all scared in any of the days, and I was more independent. I felt more independent while taking the trip because the marks have left my parents for about 2 days. Even I felt very independent, and I didn't know I could actually stay for 5 days without my parents, with my friends.
So I think as educators and as a group, we all help each other handle those situations together. Some children did feel homesick, but we do let these children get in touch with their parents over a call. And we've seen a small call like that has helped them feel better, and then they're back with the same amount of excitement that they started the trip with.
In the elementary years, as part of the cosmic education we wish to offer, we introduce students to various aspects of history, geography, botany, zoology, the other physical sciences, and so on. So as part of this, for each of these domains, we try to find locations that will really enhance and enrich the students' learning. For example, when we're thinking about botany, it's really important for us to go out into nature and see different kinds of plants. First, we're able to see that in the parks close to us in our schools, but sometimes we want to go to a different climate zone or a different altitude where there are different kinds of plants that grow, and so we will select sites and spaces where students can actually go and experience that lived botany. Similarly for history, similarly for geography. So the sites are decided based on the learning potential that they offer. Also, because these are young children, and we want to expose them to how a lot of India lives and moves, we tend to prioritize sites that we can go by road or by rail. Hence, largely these are sites that would be in Karnataka, for schools based out of Bangalore. For schools that we have now in Telangana, we'll again first prioritize sites in and around Hyderabad, and then any location that we can reach by road over a period of 12 hours. Right? We don't want to fly students to places yet. We think it's important for them to look at their own state and see all the riches that lie there.